try and inform everyone of how the Department of Public Works is contributing towards green and sustainable designs. So in my presentation, I'll briefly introduce the whole thing. I'll touch on green building policy. You'll understand what's happening here. Boiler condition assessment. As I'm from the mechanical engineering services, you'll understand why I talk boilers. Updating of documents. I saw one of the previous speakers, they mentioned something on policy. We'll talk about that as well. Implementing technology in the engineering sector. This is maybe a topic on its own, but it also touches on green and sustainable design, and also the way forward on, now that we've seen everything and now that we know how the department is trying to contribute to this whole thing, what's the way forward from where we are now. So briefly, the National Department of Public Works is the largest South African player in the property sector. I think most of you are aware, and as such we hold the responsibility to lead in terms of contributing towards green and sustainable design. You know, we are responsible for all departmental facilities, not just Department of Public Works facilities, but all departmental facilities, be it Department of Art and Culture or Correctional Services, any state-owned facilities. We as the National Department of Public Works, we are responsible for such facilities. So we are a very big player in this whole game of departmental facilities, and therefore, because we have seen how property is impacting the climate change of the country or the whole world, we see why is it important for us to take part in this. This responsibility will therefore require the National Department of Public Works to therefore take steps to ensure that state-owned facilities are energy and resource efficient. They are at the same time being environmentally responsible. So from the point of sustainability, we know we would touch on three main points, which is the environment, the social, and the cost. But for now, we'll be focusing more on the environment, because let me try to put this picture now, because when we proceed, it's going to be easy for us to understand what I'm referring to. We have a problem of climate change. Well, change can be good, but now we have a bad change. And one of the solutions to try and work out how we can fix this problem we have, it's the green and sustainable designs. And out of the green and sustainable designs, that's where we come to say, let's have solutions to see how we can implement green. But now that we all know what green is, we'll just take it from there. So as the National Department of Public Works, we do green designs, we do sustainable designs, and we also work on new technologies. You'll see how we work on all of those things. Green is defined as the practice of creating structures that are energy and resource efficient and are environmentally responsible. As I have mentioned, we all have seen this already. So what is this green building policy? The National Department of Public Works, we have seen that as time goes by, things change, technology advances, and as a result, even all the standards we had, or all the regulations and policies and whatever form of documentation or set of guidelines which are in place that help us engineers or any other profession to do designs and installations and maintenance, they become outdated. So as they become outdated like that, the Department of Public Works, together with other departments and other private entities, but other department being Gauteng Department of Infrastructure Development, I think they have developed this green building policy. So this green building policy is a set of guidelines which ensure that all public sector buildings, both new and old, or which are the existing ones, are designed or retrofitted to be energy efficient, water efficient, and waste efficient. So this document is a very comprehensive document, it's a big document. I can't go through the contents of that document now, all of them, but just know we are trying to put in place guidelines to make sure that in our buildings, both the new and the existing, we come up with maintenance plans or designs or installations that are energy, water efficient, or waste efficient. So the approach of implementing this policy in terms of energy, as I've mentioned, it's a big policy. In terms of energy, the approach is such that we need to decrease the energy consumption, and also we need to decrease the GHG emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, and we also need to decrease the portion of energy supplied by non-renewable resources, non-renewable sources. I believe you all understand the non-renewable sources. So we want to use renewable sources of energy, not just non-renewable sources, because that impacts on the climate change of the country. So, in giving effect to the green building policy, in trying to apply the set guidelines that we have in the policy, we have started by, under the mechanical engineering services. I know even in other departments, they are also doing other things to try and contribute towards sustainable and green designs. But under the mechanical engineering unit, we have conducted boiler condition assessment. I believe we all know what boilers are. This is a typical boiler here. A boiler is a very big mechanical equipment, and it works with lots of energy there, lots of heat there. So that lot of heat or energy takes a bigger portion of the whole energy consumption in the country. And such, now that we are responsible for all state-owned facilities, if you check the number of prisons that we have and all the boilers in the prisons, you'll realize that the amount of energy we are working with is a lot. And that is why it becomes very important that we do our best to make sure that we deal with green and sustainable designs. So we have conducted boiler condition assessment, where it's done in all 11 regional places across the whole country. And the main aim why we are doing this boiler condition assessment, we have realized that amongst all the mechanical systems or equipment, you can talk about the HVAC or any other mechanical system or equipment, the boilers for now are the main priority. We have realized that the boilers maybe are not being maintained well, and due to the poor performance of the boilers, it renders them very important that we deal with them first. So in this boiler condition assessment that we are doing, we are appointing service providers with the relevant skills to do a boiler condition assessment, where they do not only look at the condition, as in, is it old, is it breaking, but also the energy consumption or energy usage of the boiler. So some of the things that they look at will be, I have included a table there that shows the key performance indicators, the energy, the raw material, the operation, the maintenance, and the equipment that has to do with the whole boiler. So if we do a proper analysis and we put results on the table, you would realize how important these boilers are to the energy management of this country. So we are still working on it right now. We have done maybe 50% of the country. So I can't say we have results to show what we have, what we can do, and what is the problem. But we are sure that once we deal with this boiler condition assessment, we will be able to gauge how the department can then retrofit or change these boilers to clean energy boilers, such that we try and contribute to sustainable designs or green designs, because right now they are not. So additionally, we are also updating departmental documents. I'm not sure if most of you are aware, but the department has its own standards and specifications, and there are also the South African national standards, the SANS code. There are also the OHS Act, all these acts and regulations. So there are all these documents in place to make sure that we are compliant to anything, safety, but also energy efficiency. We have standards for energy efficiency. So now the department also has its own standards. So we have realized that since the South African national standard, SANS, has changed its own standards in terms of energy efficiency, we need need to also update ours to make sure that we talk to the energy efficiency required by the South African national standards. But we are not only looking towards the standards and specifications, but also things like your term contracts, because on your term contracts, we're talking of maintenance. And maintenance is very important because it's an ongoing thing. It's not just like in design, because when we talk about maybe the HVAC has to be energy efficient, a consultant can come up with a design that is energy efficient, but now from the day it starts working for the next 5 years, it talks to a bigger part of energy. And we are also updating our term contracts such that they also talk to that energy management or energy efficiency in buildings, and not just energy efficiency, but the whole lot of SANS codes or acts that are talking to sustainable design.